Hi all. Today we'll be taking a look at React hooks and especially one of the hooks, the state hook. So React hooks was released in React 16.8. The main reason to introduce React hooks was to enable the functional components to have access to certain properties which were available only earlier using the class components in React. Some of them are the state, the lifecycle hooks, etc. So using React hooks, you will be able to use the state and the lifecycle hooks within the functional components. So for today's demo purpose, I have created a React application. So this is the React application. Here I can enter a username and I have a button which can be used for toggling the theme of the web page. So initially I have implemented this using the class component. Let's now have a look at the code. So main is the component which I have created using React component, and the theme and the username I have declared it as a state variable. So I declare it using this dot state equal to theme. I have given the initial theme as light and username as empty, and I also created a method called toggle theme. So what it does is it will be toggling the theme value inside the state based on the current value. For modifying the value of the state, the class components have the inbuilt method called setState, which can either accept a callback or it can accept a direct object value. So here is an example how you can pass an object key value pair. So for updating the username, whenever I type something into a input text box, I am currently updating the value here to the user field. Another way is like you can pass a callback and you will be able to get the previous state, and here I am checking the previous value of the theme field, and based on it I am doing some actions. So one thing to note is that here even when I pass a single key for updating in the set state, the theme value will not be replaced. So what happens is the set state will update only the given field and it will actually merge it with the original state. So in this example, I am passing the toggle theme method as a props to the button so that when the button is clicked, the method will be called to toggle the theme. And also I am passing the theme and the user as props to the text so that it can be displayed in our application. Now let's implement the same functionality using React hooks. First, I have created a function component called now, which will have the functionalities which are similar to the main component. So this will contain only the base template and everything. Now we need to go to the app.js and we'll add a reference to the nav component so that in the page the nav component is rendered, but it does not have the theme and user states. So now let's go to the nav component and let's add the theme state first. So for accessing the state inside the function component, React, there is a React hook called the state hook. So let's go to syntax. So it is something called useState, which is present in React, and inside this useState we can provide the initial value. So in case of the theme, you can give like theme and set theme and an initial value. I am setting it as light. So what's the meaning of this structure? So this is called a destructured array. So like the use state returns an array of two properties, and the first property is the state value and the second is a method which is used for setting the state. So it can be like we can have multiple states in the same component. So I can use the same thing here as user and set user, and I can give the initial value as empty. So during each rendering, React will execute all these use state methods, and during the first execution, it will create the state and it will assign the initial value to the theme and it will return the method. During subsequent renders, what will happen is it will get the latest value of the state and will set it to the theme. So now let's hook up the code for updating the user state. So for updating the user state on each keepers, we need to call the on change, and inside that we will be passing an anonymous function, and here we will be calling the set user function. So the set user function either accepts a new value which can be updated in the user state, or it can accept a callback in which you can access the previous value for doing some manipulations based on the previous value. So here in this case I am directly passing the new value. So I am passing it as event target value, and also I am passing the user as a props to the text component so that it can be displayed. So now let's go to the app, and when I type something, you can see that the text is getting updated. Now let's add the code for toggling the theme state. So for that we will be copying the code from the main component and we'll be putting it here, and we will be making the toggle theme as a constant, as an arrow function, and here we can replace the set state with set theme, and we will be using the callback format for the set theme. So here we are passing it as a symbol value, so we need not have the object, and also we don't have the theme property inside the state, so we can remove that. Now we are ready, and also we need to append the theme to the class name. So here we are adding that, and now let's pass the toggle theme as a props to the button, so that when the button is clicked the theme will be toggled, and also we will be passing the theme as a props to the text. So now let's go to the application. You can see that the light theme has been applied here. Now when we click the toggle theme, it will switch to dark theme and vice versa. One thing to note while using React hook is that you should always define the React hook at the topmost level of the component. So you should never put the React hooks inside a condition. So in case if you have an if condition like this, you should not put the React hook inside this if condition. So this is one scenario where the React hooks will fail. One key difference between the React component state and the React state hooks is that in the components we have the state as an object, and inside that we can have multiple keys. So here in this case we have the theme and the user. So whenever we update a particular key like the theme here, so what it does is it automatically preserves the other value. So suppose the user had some value here, it will be preserved in the state. So since the state is being merged to the previous value. But in the case of React hooks, so here in this case, like we had split up the state into multiple fields, so it is okay. But in case we had merged it into a single state, like we had the theme here as a key and the user also as another key in the same object, then one thing we need to take care is like whenever we update the state, we need to maintain the previous value of the other keys. So in case we do not pass the current value of the other key like the user while updating the theme, the user field will be overwritten and only the theme value will be set. Hope you are able to get a good understanding about the React state hook. We will be covering the other React hooks in future videos. See you soon. Thank you.